Did you know that American credit card balances have passed over $1 trillion?
Yeah.
$1 trillion. I'm going to read you this stat. It says that a typical American household now carries $10,000 in credit card debt. All right. And to go even further, of that average American household, 22% of them hold at least $10,000, meaning that most people who do have credit card debt are above that $10,000
Yeah.
threshold, right?
And here's why it's a problem, John. That's because when you're looking at different types of loans, a traditional mortgage might be right now for, 5 or 6%. Historically, it was at 2 or 3 for about a decade, right? Um, if you look at a car loan, right? You purchased a new car recently,
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, 8%, depending on what time you got into the market and what type of credit you have. Maybe it could be a little bit higher, 9 or 10% APR. But credit cards are unique because their APR is usually anywhere from 22 to 27%. Um, and that is based off the total of debt that you have. So after a year of not paying, let's say you have a 27% APR card, which is unfortunately relatively typical on these
Mm-hmm.
consumer credit cards.
Just to add a fact, the
Hmm.
average rate is 24%, which is
24%.
the highest since President Ronald Reagan when he was dealing with
There
inflation
it
in the
is.
80s.
So 24%. So let's say you have that $10,000 mark on on your credit card. That means that if you're going to continue interest payments to not default on your debt, you're going to be paying $2,400 in interest alone, plus any principal that you're trying to pay down. So, for anybody that's watching this that struggles with credit card debt, my first thing that I would do is pay down as much of it as you can because that's going to be your highest percentage of APR that you're paying basically to the bank for no reason, just so that way you don't default. And then my second piece of advice is cut up your credit card, cancel your Amazon, cancel everything. As Dave Ramsey might say, you might be eating beans. What is it? Butter beans and
Yeah.
sitting at home, right?
And
Beans and
and
rice.
having sell everything and make the kids get nervous that they're going to be
Yeah,
sold next,
sell
right?
everything. But
Yeah.
seriously, that is a huge ripoff. That's ripping off thousands of families from the American dream because these people literally cannot afford to pay back the amount on their card. And then if you don't, then your credit's worse. And if your credit's worse, you can't get a loan for a home. You can't get a loan for a car. So
Or your
if
interest rates
you,
are higher,
yeah,
even if you do.
avoid
So,
credit cards at all costs if you can't pay them. I honestly, it
mm,
might be cheaper to go get a payday advance from somebody than get a credit card. So,
which is that's saying something. I definitely agree with you. Not to get too biblical, but if you do believe in the Bible, it says, and I think it's a great example for everyone, even if you don't, right? That the borrower is slave to the lender, and that unfortunately is so true in this economy, in this type of society that we live in, right? The lender's not looking out for you, right? They're not
no,
looking out and saying,
no.
hey, we love the fact that you use our credit card. Here's your 1% cash back because we're looking out for you. No, on the back end of that, you have people who are getting screwed literally 24, 25, 27% APR, where just like you said, if you're, $10,000 in debt, you just racked up basically another $3,000 in debt, and it continues and continues, and it doesn't stop. It's a snowball
Real,
that
real
rolls the
quick
wrong way.
story, John. Real quick story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a friend that really likes to travel, and about a year ago, he was trying to talk me into getting a travel card because you get all of these miles, man. You get the miles, they add up, you get free flights,
Yep.
right? Meanwhile, there's an annual fee of $299 on the card. I don't know, that could buy you a flight or two, depending on where you're going, right?
Yeah.
And then
Cheap
in
Southwest
addition,
flight.
yeah, Southwest. And in addition to that, if you ended up using that card and didn't have the funds to pay it off, well, 24%. on average, right? Some are more, some are less. Well, I think that 24% of $10,000 that we talked of earlier, which is probably the moderate amount, that's
The average amount.
$2,400, right? Which could buy, I don't know, many flights to different places. So
Yes.
again, they get these people on the idea of consumerism of you're getting all this back and you don't have to do anything for it.
hmm
Meanwhile, you're paying an annual fee and you're paying 24%
hmm
interest. It's ridiculous. So
I mean,
yeah, once again, stay away from the credit card scam that it really is.
the biggest scam of all time is the minimum payments, right? Because that's
Yeah,
what every type of bill in the credit card industry will show is how much you
yeah.
owe,
And
minimum
it's always
payments,
on
how
that
much can
first
you do?
line. Minimum payment, $35.
Yep,
People make the
yep.
minimum payment of $35 for so long.
But
Well, you didn't realize
it,
there was 600 that you added on the month before, and 600
yeah,
the month before.
it
So now
and
you got a
and
snowball of debt.
and what it does is it just like you said, it teaches consumerism almost as a religion. Like you can just keep buying things and you can always pay the minimum payment until you die, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens is a lot of people get sucked into this consumerism. It's really like a religion, honestly. They
It
go in
is.
and they have to continually buy something to be happy. One thing to keep in mind, and a lot of people will say, like, hey, listen, I'm going to use credit cards. I'm going to pay off the balance every month completely. What's wrong with that? And there's people like Dave Ramsey who are like, oh, it doesn't matter. Don't use them ever. Now there's some benefits to them, right? That they have like the security guarantee. Some of them do, right? Of, well,
Mm-hmm.
if you make an unauthorized
Sure.
purchase, we got you covered. So there
Yep.
is some benefit to that. But I would even caution people who think that they're just going to go on a, unsustained, untracked, spinning spree where it's under control. Like that's fine until the first emergency comes. Oh, I can just put the tire on my credit card. I can just put this month's gas on my credit card, and before you know it, again you start doing that again and again, and you fall in the cycle
Mm-hmm.
the same way. It's really
Yeah.
crazy.
It just becomes easier. They actually did a study. I forget who it was from, but they compared purchasing something with your credit card compared to purchasing it with cash, right?
Yeah.
And they found that the credit card actually makes you feel more powerful when you're purchasing something.
Yeah.
So it rewards the feelings, the dopamine level of, wow, I just bought something, and I hand them a card, and it makes you feel powerful subconsciously. And then
Yeah.
they compared the people that paid cash. And those people that paid cash, they actually looked at, again, the things that happen in the brain and found that the people that paid cash for an item actually felt
Worse,
subconscious
probably.
pain. They actually
Yeah.
felt subconscious pain. So one makes you feel powerful, the other one makes you feel painful. But which one is more dangerous? Well, the one that makes you feel powerful, because then you
hmm
can order on demand, you deserve it on demand. But guess what? They deserve your payments back, and they deserve your 24% APR at the end of the year, right? Don't
Yep.
do it. If you are going to have a credit card, be very conservative with it.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you there. This is a huge trend that we see happening. Again, I think we talked about this a couple of months ago. It's like at 934 billion, which is just a massive number. And then you hear 1 trillion. That's more debt on American credit cards than most countries carry. Absolutely unbelievable. And also, just like we said, balances of at least 10,000, that's an increase of 45%. That's remarkable. And it goes to show that I do believe that people are actually living paycheck to paycheck, but the credit card boom that's happening right now, it's going to catch up on the back end of this
It's going to
year. I
catch up
guarantee it.
eventually. It
I
has to.
guarantee it. The last
Yep.
year and a half, 2 years, oh, it's fine. I'll put it on my credit card. Well, when the creditors, when they slow down, that's when things will get ugly. It's going to
What
be
goes
crazy
up
to
must
see.
come down. Yep.
That's absolutely right. Blake, thank you so much for being on Thinking Property with me. I love having you as a co host. You're the man.
Thank you.
Thanks for your breakdown. Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Appreciate it.